Hey, one of the foundational concepts in economics is that resources are limited, so we must make choices. This is why we study choices so much in economics, because everyone is limited about the choices they can make. We do not have all the things you want, and so therefore we have to make choices about the things that we can get. This concept, for your notes there, is called scarcity. Scarcity is not having the ability to do or have everything you want. You can't get what you want, and so it is scarce. And because things is scarce, you have to make choices. The reality is that we live in a universe that is limited. Reality is that we are limited. And because of that, we must make choices. And it's a lot of problems you'll see in the news. You'll say to yourself, well, these are some pretty crazy people because, for an example, someone went to a Wendy's and they had run out of fries, and so the person dialed 911 and said, this is an emergency. I can't get my French fries. And it makes the news as someone who's crazy or something like that, because those people don't understand that reality is limited. If something is not available, it is just not available, and you have to make a different choice. Either you go without the fries or you substitute and you get something else. And we shake our heads and say, wow, that was really out of touch with reality. But then our governments of the world, especially this one, will conjure up like $5 trillion out of thin air. And you say to yourself, oh, that's okay because that's the government. Well, that's really not any different than that person in line who said, I have to have the fries because I demand them. We're going to print up $5 trillion, but there's going to be an effect from that. It doesn't just come free out of the sky. And so there is no such thing as a free lunch. We have to make choices between what we want and what we can get, and then there's going to be things that we can't get. And so that's why we study economics, because of scarcity, this study of choices. Next thing you want to understand is that everyone faces scarcity. Bill Gates has a ton of money. Jeff Bezos has a ton of money. They still face scarcity. In fact, if you owned the whole world, if you had everything at your fingertips, you were the one who ran the whole planet and everything was yours, you'd still have to make choices because you are limited by time. As soon as you decide to take one action, you can't do another action at the same time. And in fact, time is probably the most precious resource you have because it's one thing that you can never get back. It's also something that pretty much all humans are equal in. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We are all equal in time. So how are you going to choose to use your time? That's an interesting study of choices. Are you going to watch this video? Are you going to attend the class? Are you going to be playing a video game with your mute button off or something like that? Those are the kind of things that we have to make choices about, because you can go to the Zoom meeting or you can go hang out with your friends, but you can't do both, and you're going to have to make a choice. And the reason you have to make choices is because of scarcity. You are limited in your time. You are limited in your resources. And so in order to maximize happiness, remember that's the number one thing people like to do. They want to maximize their happiness. And if you want to do that, you have to make choices because you're living in a scarce universe. All right.